Hello, I'm JW. Today we're going to be taking these dreadful connectors, which we've seen in a previous episode, and instead of going up to 30 amps and nothing happens, as happened before, this time we're going to be turning up the power until they melt or set on fire or something else basically gives up. And for this time we're going to use the same wire we had before, which is the green 0.75mm copper, and bear in mind that's all that will actually fit into these things. You can't actually get larger wires in there. And we're going to have 4 connectors on the wire. So we've got one connector at the end here, which is just the wire going in, another wire joined to it. Next we have a connector where the wire simply goes straight through, and then at the end here we've got 2 more where I've got a wire going through one and connects to the other, and then the same sort of in reverse. So basically got sort of 2 wires between and one at either end. So here we're outside and the usual setup there. So current on the yellow meter top left, it's already turned on about 28 amps. Temperature in the middle there, around 22, 23, and the time elapsed just counting up there and the centre. We've got the wires in the front there, and the temperature is actually just the probe just poked in that bit of wire there between the 2 connectors on the left. And so running about 28 amps there, which is basically where we left off on the previous one. And of course, just as before, nothing really happening, nothing smoking, melting or doing anything else. Now this system has a fairly coarse current adjustment, so we'll turn it up to the next level, which is around 36 amps. And you see the temperature is increasing moderately slowly there. So around 42 there at the moment, and we're just over a minute in on the timer. Now the temperature's reached just over 60 centigrade there, but nothing particularly outstanding there. So what we'll do is turn up the current to the next level, and as you can see here, that's now about 45 amps. So temperature's still below 70, which is still within the rating of this particular wire, but as you see, it is now increasing beyond that point. Now see there's some smoke now drifting across, and we can see that the green wire is sort of softening and melting in a variety of places. Bearing in mind that temperature is not necessarily the temperature of the wire, it's more the outer insulation. And we see now that quite a lot of smoke is coming off of there, as the wire of course is overheating and softening and melting the insulation. Temperature of the probe now is around 90 degrees there, and it's increasing fairly quickly now. And today it's not windy at all, so the smoke is now just going to billow around and pretty much obscure everything that we can see. But we'll leave this going for as long as it can, and hopefully something will either melt, destroy or break. So about 3.5 minutes in now, and the temperature is over 170 degrees, still increasing fairly quickly. And we can now see that a considerable amount of the insulation has burned away, and we can see the wires inside are actually glowing red hot. However, disappointingly, the red connectors don't appear to have moved or really done anything at all. They're still fairly intact, although of course they are now smoking and of course starting to melt. Now just coming to the 5-minute mark here. Temperature is still around the 160 odd mark. It's fluctuating quite a bit because the probe isn't in particularly good contact there. But we can see that the wires are still glowing red hot, and the connectors, certainly on the right hand side, have melted considerably. Smoke coming out of those as the plastic deteriorates, but the circuit is still intact, and the connectors towards the left side are pretty much the same on the left end there, and the middle one is sort of sprung open but considerably better condition than the others. And current again still around the 44-45 amps range, so again no change there. So here at the 7-minute mark, temperature around 260, current still about 45, and see the wire now has basically finished smoking. All we've got left now is the remains of the shell of the connectors, just sort of smoking away there and gradually melting. And again, the ones on the right seem to be worse than the ones on the left. Now we'll turn the current up a bit more, I think, because not much happened here, so we're now applying just around 52 or 53 amps, and you see the wires are now glowing fairly bright red. Now that's now gone open circuit, and the failure was in the wire towards the right hand side of the image there, and of course now it's going to cool down, and that's pretty much the end of that. Here's a look at what's left of the connectors. Now we see the first one there is relatively intact, though it obviously has deformed. This one is sort of sprung open, but again the bulk of it is still intact. This third one is pretty much completely melted away there, but notably the wire's still in the connector. And this one again melted completely, but again the 2 wires are still within the metal part of the connector. And then further along the wire here we can see the break there where the obviously wire has melted through and basically opened the circuit. So it seems the connectors remain connected, but unfortunately the actual cable itself, or the wire, basically melted through. And although it was only 0.75mm square wire, That's actually the largest it will physically fit into those connectors, so obviously it wouldn't be possible to use larger. And obviously the outer casing melted off, but again that's not too surprising given the several hundred degrees centigrade temperatures that we saw on the meter there. So fairly disappointing that the connectors weren't the weakest point, but obviously that's how it turned out. And several other people in other videos have commented that the smoke given off is highly toxic and so on, and of course yes it is, but unsurprisingly I don't actually stand next to it breathing it in. As you can see, it's just outside the window there, so we can view from in here, so we're not actually bringing in any of it at all. So that's it for this time, and until next time, thanks for watching.